Imagine a woman who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't plead for love. A woman who knows her worth so deeply that she walks with a quiet confidence, unshaken by inconsistency, unmoved by gains. She does not cling. She does not fear losing what is not meant for her. And because of that, she becomes unforgettable. Men are wired to pursue, to chase, to be drawn toward mystery and challenge. But what happens when a woman refuses to play the role of the desperate, emotionally dependent figure? What happens when she stops reacting, stops proving, and stops trying to convince anyone of her value? She becomes the one who stands out, the one who lingers in his mind long after she's gone. The one he can't quite figure out, but can't quite let go of either. Men obsess over women who detach, not because they enjoy being ignored, but because true detachment is rooted in power. It is not coldness, it is self-respect. It is not arrogance, it is knowing she deserves more. And when a woman moves with that energy, the entire dynamic shifts. She is no longer waiting to be chosen. She is the one who chooses. When a woman learns the art of detachment, she unlocks a level of power that shifts the entire dynamic of her relationships. Detachment is not about indifference or coldness, but about knowing who you are and refusing to place your sense of self-worth in the hands of another person. It is the ability to love deeply while holding on to yourself. Too often, women are conditioned to believe that their value is tied to how much they can hold on to a man, how much they can love, endure, and sacrifice in the hopes that he will recognize their worth. But the truth is, men are wired to chase, not to be handed something easily. They crave what they feel they can lose. And when a woman operates from a place of security and self-sufficiency, she becomes irresistible. There is a natural tendency in human psychology to desire what is slightly out of reach. The moment something becomes overly available or predictable, it loses its value. This applies not just to material things, but to relationships as well. When a woman clings tightly, constantly seeking validation and proving her worth, a man does not feel the urgency to pursue or appreciate her. He knows she is there, always available, always waiting. But when a woman detaches, when she shifts her focus inward and begins to cultivate her own sense of joy, purpose, and peace, everything changes. Suddenly, she is not waiting on him. She is not desperate for his attention. She is not trying to convince him that she is worthy. And that shift in energy is what makes her stand out. Men are naturally drawn to a challenge. They want to feel like they have earned something, like they have worked for it. When a woman is too readily available, too eager to please, she eliminates the very thing that keeps a man engaged, the pursuit. But when a woman knows how to step back, how to focus on herself, and how to create space, she becomes someone he cannot ignore. That space is what creates curiosity. It is what makes him wonder what she is doing, what she is thinking, what she is feeling. It is in that space that his attraction deepens, because he realizes that she is not dependent on him for happiness. She is whole with or without him. A detached woman is not easily swayed by sweet words or fleeting gestures. She does not fall into the trap of believing that a man's attention today means a promise for tomorrow. She is grounded in herself, and that grounding makes her powerful. She does not need constant reassurance because she has already validated herself. She does not beg for love because she knows that real love is never forced. She does not tolerate inconsistency because she respects herself too much to accept less than she deserves. This kind of woman operates from a place of strength, and that strength is magnetic. When a woman detaches, she is not playing a game. She is not using manipulation to get a man to chase her. She is simply choosing to prioritize herself over a situation that does not serve her. She understands that a man's desire should not be the foundation of her self-esteem. She does not need to prove her worth to anyone because she already knows it. And when she moves in that knowing, she exudes a quiet confidence that men cannot resist. This does not mean she stops loving or caring. Detachment is not about shutting down emotionally. It is about loving without losing yourself. It is about giving without overextending. It is about knowing that your happiness is your responsibility, not someone else's job to fulfill. It is about having faith that what is meant for you will always align without you having to force it. And when a man sees a woman who carries herself this way, he sees someone who is rare, someone who is valuable, someone he does not want to lose. The moment a woman shifts her energy from chasing to attracting, from holding on to letting go, she steps into her divine power. She becomes the kind of woman a man cannot forget because she is not dependent on his presence to feel whole. She is radiant in her own right. She walks with purpose, she loves with intention, and she moves with confidence. And in doing so, she forces a man to step up or step aside because she is not waiting. She is already walking. A woman who embodies mystery and self-sufficiency holds a unique power that naturally draws men in. There is something captivating about a woman who is not overly accessible, who does not constantly seek attention, and who does not feel the need to reveal every thought, every feeling, and every movement she makes. This is because men are naturally wired to chase, to seek out, and to uncover what feels just beyond their reach. When a woman maintains a level of mystery, she becomes intriguing, someone who is not easily figured out, someone who has depth beyond what is immediately visible. This mystery is not about playing games or being deceptive. It is about understanding the power of holding back just enough to keep a man engaged, to keep him wanting to learn more, to uncover layers over time rather than all at once. Self-sufficiency is another quality that makes a woman deeply desirable. A woman who has her own life, her own ambitions, her own passions, and her own sense of fulfillment does not need a man to complete her. She is whole on her own, and that kind of confidence is rare. Many people, men and women alike, seek relationships out of a sense of lack, believing that another person will make them feel complete. But a woman who has already cultivated her own sense of purpose and joy does not place that burden on anyone else. She does not seek validation from a man because she has already validated herself. She does not rely on a relationship for happiness because she has already created happiness within her own life. And that level of independence is deeply attractive because it shifts the power dynamic. Instead of feeling like he is the center of her world, a man realizes that he must earn a place in her life. Mystery creates desire because it keeps a man engaged, constantly wanting to learn more. When a woman is an open book from the start, revealing everything about herself without any sense of restraint, the sense of intrigue fades quickly. There is no discovery, no unfolding of layers over time. But when a woman carries herself with a quiet confidence, when she does not feel the need to overshare or to seek approval through constant communication, she naturally creates an aura of attraction. Men are drawn to what they do not fully understand. They want to figure things out, to work for attention, to feel like they are earning the affection of someone who is not easily impressed. There is a difference between being emotionally available and being emotionally dependent. A woman who is emotionally available can connect deeply with a man, but she does not lose herself in that connection. She shares parts of herself while still keeping a sense of individuality intact. She allows a man to see glimpses of her thoughts and emotions, but she does not lay everything bare all at once. This balance of openness and restraint keeps a man invested, keeps him wondering, keeps him engaged in the process of truly getting to know her over time. A woman who is mysterious and self-sufficient also commands respect. When she does not feel the need to prove her worth to a man, he automatically sees her as valuable. She does not chase, she does not overextend, and she does not place her happiness in his hands. She maintains a strong sense of self, and that stability is what makes her so appealing. Men respect women who respect themselves, who do not settle for anything less than what they deserve, who have standards that they are unwilling to compromise. When a man encounters a woman who has her own life, her own dreams, and her own sense of fulfillment, he realizes that he is dealing with someone different. She is not waiting to be rescued. She is not seeking someone to fill a void, and she is not trying to prove her worth through excessive giving. She stands firm in who she is, and that makes him want to pursue her, to work for her attention, to invest in her on a deeper level. Because the moment a woman stops making herself overly available, the moment she shifts her energy from proving to simply being, is the moment she becomes the kind of woman a man cannot ignore. A woman who understands the power of confidence and boundaries commands a level of respect that naturally shifts the way men engage with her. Confidence is more than just self-assurance. It is a deep understanding of one's worth, a refusal to settle for less than what one deserves, and a presence that radiates security. When a woman is confident, she does not seek approval or validation from a man. She does not base her sense of value on whether or not he chooses her. Instead, she walks with a knowing, an unshakable certainty that she is enough, with or without his affection. This energy is magnetic. Men are drawn to women who carry themselves with certainty because confidence signals strength, stability, and a deep sense of self-respect. Boundaries are an extension of confidence. They communicate to the world, and specifically to men, that a woman knows what she will and will not accept. When a woman sets clear boundaries, she is making a statement. She values herself too much to allow inconsistency, disrespect, or emotional manipulation to take root in her life. Many women struggle with boundaries because they fear losing the man they want. But in reality, a lack of boundaries does not make a man stay. It makes him take her for granted. A woman who allows herself to be treated as an option, who accepts last-minute plans, who tolerates mixed signals, is teaching a man that she will be there no matter how he behaves. She is inadvertently showing him that he does not have to show up fully because she will accept half effort. On the other hand, a woman with strong boundaries creates a different experience. She is not afraid to say no, not out of pettiness or manipulation, but out of self-respect. She knows that her time, energy, and emotions are valuable, and she does not allow them to be drained by someone who is inconsistent or unsure. When a man encounters a woman with firm boundaries, he recognizes that she is different. She does not tolerate games, she does not entertain uncertainty, and she does not overextend herself for someone who has not earned that level of access. This creates a shift in how he approaches her. He knows that if he wants to be in her life, he must rise to the occasion. He must be clear, consistent, and intentional because she will not accept anything less. Confidence and boundaries together create an aura of certainty that makes a woman highly desirable. When a woman knows she is valuable, she does not beg for love. She does not engage in desperation or over giving in the hopes of proving her worth. She is simply herself, standing firm in the belief that the right man will recognize her value without her needing to force it. This lack of desperation is what makes her stand out. Men respect and admire women who carry themselves with this level of self-possession because it creates an air of exclusivity. She is not someone who is easily impressed, easily won over, or easily manipulated. She is a woman who chooses wisely, who guards her energy, and who only invests in those who prove they are worthy of her time. Boundaries also protect a woman from being emotionally drained by men who are not serious. Many times women find themselves exhausted from trying to make a relationship work only to realize that the man was never truly invested. This happens when boundaries are weak, when too much grace is given, and when standards are not enforced. A confident woman with strong boundaries does not fall into this trap. She observes actions over words. She does not excuse poor behavior, and she does not wait around hoping a man will change. She knows that if he is the right man, he will naturally rise to her level. If he is not, he will fade away, and she will not waste energy trying to convince him to stay. Men respect what they have to work for. They value what is not easily accessible. When a woman has confidence and firm boundaries, she forces a man to step up. She does not allow herself to be strung along. She does not entertain half-hearted efforts, and she does not compromise her standards just to keep a man's attention. Instead, she remains unwavering in her expectations, and that is what makes her When a woman masters the ability to control her emotions and not react impulsively, she positions herself in a place of immense power. Emotions are natural, and feeling deeply is not a weakness. However, the way a woman manages those emotions determines how others, especially men, respond to her. A woman who is easily swayed by her feelings, who reacts without thinking, and who allows her emotions to dictate her actions can often find herself in situations where she is being controlled rather than in control. A man can sense when a woman is emotionally unstable or when she is desperate for his attention and validation. This is why women who learn to regulate their emotions rather than be ruled by them command a different level of respect and admiration. A woman who is in control of her emotions does not let a man's inconsistency shake her peace. If he does not text back immediately, she does not spiral into panic. If he pulls away, she does not chase. If he tests her patience, she does not lash out. She remains grounded in herself, understanding that her worth is not tied to his actions. This level of composure is what sets her apart. Men are used to seeing women react emotionally, arguing, begging, over-explaining, or trying to prove their worth. But when a woman simply does not engage in that dynamic, when she remains calm and collected, she creates a sense of intrigue. He begins to wonder why she is not reacting the way others have. He starts to realize that she is not easily manipulated, that she does not function on desperation, and that she operates from a place of self-respect. Men respect what they cannot control. A woman who is emotionally unpredictable is easy to manipulate. If she is too attached to him, he can push her buttons, make her jealous, or get a reaction out of her whenever he pleases. But a woman who has mastered detachment is different. She does not give him that power. She is not easily provoked, and she does not allow external circumstances to shake her inner stability. This makes her stand out because in a world where people are constantly reacting to everything, she is one of the few who remain centered. This ability to regulate emotions is not about suppressing feelings. It is about choosing how to respond rather than simply reacting. A woman who has emotional control does not ignore how she feels, but she processes those emotions privately instead of allowing them to dictate her actions in the moment. She understands that not every feeling needs to be expressed. Not every thought needs to be shared, and not every situation requires an immediate response. She knows that time and perspective bring clarity, and she uses that wisdom to navigate her relationships. When a man sees that a woman is unbothered by his attempts to provoke her, to make her jealous, or to push her boundaries, he realizes that he is dealing with someone different. She is not like the others. She does not fall apart when he pulls away. She does not argue for his attention. She does not play the emotional games that so many others do. And because of that, he begins to crave her presence even more. Her emotional stability becomes a source of attraction because in her presence, he feels the challenge. He cannot easily predict her next move, and that keeps him engaged. A woman who masters her emotions also protects herself from unnecessary pain. She does not get caught up in meaningless arguments. She does not allow herself to be dragged into drama, and she does not waste energy on situations that do not serve her. She moves differently. She operates from a place of logic and clarity rather than pure emotion. This does not mean she is cold or detached from love, but rather that she loves in a way that is healthy, balanced, and secure. Her strength lies in her ability to remain composed in situations that would normally trigger others. While others are reacting, she is observing. While others are seeking validation, she is already validated within herself. And this level of self-possession is what makes her unforgettable. She is not a woman who can be played with, manipulated, or controlled. She is a woman who chooses how she responds, who protects her peace, and who operates from a place of confidence and wisdom. And because of that, she becomes the kind of woman a man does not want to lose. A woman who prioritizes her own growth, happiness, and fulfillment creates an energy that naturally draws people in. When a woman is fully invested in her own life and building herself up and in creating a life that brings her joy, she becomes magnetic. There is something undeniably attractive about a woman who is not waiting for a relationship to complete her, but instead finds fulfillment within herself. When a man sees that a woman is deeply engaged in her own purpose, whether that be her career, her passions, her spiritual growth, or her personal development, he recognizes that she is different. She is not desperate for his attention, because she is already occupied with something greater. Many women make the mistake of centering their lives around a man, believing that doing so will make him appreciate them more. They shift their schedules, adjust their interests, and make their lives completely available, thinking that this level of dedication will make them indispensable. But the opposite happens. When a woman loses herself in a man, she loses the very thing that made her attractive to him in the first place, her individuality. The moment she makes him her sole focus, he subconsciously begins to pull away, sensing that he no longer has to put in effort to keep her interest. When a woman, however, continues to chase her own dreams, maintain her own routine, and nurture her own happiness, she remains a challenge, a mystery, and a force that he wants to be a part of. A woman who is fully engaged in her own life operates from a place of abundance rather than lack. She does not cling to a relationship out of fear of being alone. She does not tolerate mistreatment because she believes she cannot do better. She understands that her happiness is not dependent on any one person, and because of that, she does not settle for situations that do not serve her. This mindset creates a shift in the way men interact with her. They see that she is not a woman who can be easily swayed or emotionally manipulated. She is not afraid to walk away from what does not align with her values because she knows that her life is already fulfilling on its own. Men are naturally drawn to women who have a sense of purpose. A woman who is constantly evolving, learning, and growing is endlessly intriguing. She is not stagnant. She has depth. She can hold a conversation. She has opinions. And she is constantly expanding her mind and experiences. This makes her not only attractive, but also valuable. A man does not just see her as someone to be with, but as someone who enhances his life. He sees that being with her means being challenged, being inspired, and being pushed to grow as well. One of the most powerful aspects of a woman who prioritizes her own happiness is that she never gives off the energy of neediness. Neediness repels. It creates pressure. It makes a man feel like he is responsible for someone else's happiness, and that is a burden that no one wants to carry. But when a woman is self-sufficient in her joy, when she finds fulfillment outside of a relationship, she removes that pressure. She does not demand constant reassurance. She does not panic when there is space in the relationship. She enjoys her own company, has her own goals, and continues living fully whether she is in a relationship or not. This energy of independence is what makes her irresistible. A woman who is deeply engaged in her own growth and happiness does not chase, and because she does not chase, she attracts. She is too busy living her life to be consumed with whether or not a man is giving her enough attention. She does not measure her worth by his presence in her life because she has already built a strong sense of self. This kind of woman does not need to prove her value because her life already speaks for itself. She moves with confidence, she loves without attachment, and she exists in a way that makes people want to be around her, not out of obligation, but out of pure admiration. The reality is that men do not want to be the center of a woman's world. They want to be a part of a world that is already beautiful. When a woman cultivates her own happiness and fulfillment, she becomes a source of inspiration rather than a source of pressure. She naturally pulls people in, not by trying to, but simply by being who she is, whole, confident, and deeply satisfied with her own journey. And that, above all else, makes her unforgettable. A woman who is willing to walk away when a situation no longer serves her holds a power that is undeniable. It is easy to stay in a place of comfort, to cling to a relationship out of fear, or to tolerate behavior that does not align with one's worth. But the moment a woman decides that she is not afraid to leave, everything changes. Walking away is not about playing games, nor is it about manipulation. It is about understanding that her presence is valuable and refusing to remain where she is not cherished, respected, or prioritized. A man can sense when a woman is afraid to lose him. He knows when she is operating from a place of desperation rather than choice. When a woman is unwilling to walk away, she compromises more than she should, tolerates what she should not, and accepts less than what she deserves. This does not create love or admiration, it creates complacency. A man does not feel the urgency to value a woman who will always be there no matter how he treats her. He does not feel the need to step up, to be intentional, or to show effort when he knows she is afraid to leave. But when a woman is willing to walk away, she shifts the dynamic. She is no longer in a position of pleading or waiting. She stands firm in her standards, knowing that staying in the wrong situation only delays the right one. A man who truly values her will recognize that he cannot take her presence for granted. He understands that she is not someone who stays out of obligation, but someone who chooses to be there until she is given a reason not to be. And that awareness alone changes the way he engages with her. Men respect what they have to work for. When something is always available, it is rarely appreciated. This is why a woman who can walk away holds a unique power. She creates a sense of urgency. She does not allow herself to be put on hold, to be an afterthought, or to be treated as an option. She knows that she is the prize, and she moves accordingly. If a man is inconsistent, unclear, or emotionally unavailable, she does not beg for clarity. She does not try to convince him to see her worth. She simply removes herself, knowing that the right man will never put her in a position where she has to question her value. This ability to walk away is rooted in self-respect. A woman who respects herself understands that love should not be a battle for recognition. She knows that relationships require effort, but effort should never be one-sided. She does not make excuses for someone's lack of effort, nor does she stay in situations out of fear of starting over. She embraces the idea that letting go is not a loss but a gain, because it creates space for something better. Men find women who can walk away incredibly attractive because it signals confidence. Confidence is not just about appearance or charisma. It is about knowing one's worth and refusing to settle for less. A woman who walks away does not do so out of bitterness, but out of certainty. She is certain that she deserves love that is clear, consistent, and intentional. She is certain that she does not need to force someone to choose her. She is certain that walking away from the wrong thing is always better than staying in something that diminishes her. The moment a woman stops chasing is the moment a man starts wondering. He begins to reflect on what he has lost, on what he took for granted. He realizes that she was not like the others, that she had a presence that cannot be replaced. But by then, she has already moved forward, already chosen herself, already embraced a future where she is valued fully. And that is why a woman who can walk away is unforgettable, because she does not allow herself to be forgotten in the first place. A woman who knows her worth, who refuses to beg for love, and who walks away when necessary holds a power that cannot be ignored. She does not operate from desperation, nor does she allow her emotions to dictate her decisions. She is centered, confident, and fully engaged in her own life, making her presence a privilege, not a guarantee. Men do not obsess over women who are always available, who bend over backward for their affection, or who sacrifice their dignity to be chosen. They become fixated on the woman who is unattainable, not because she plays games, but because she genuinely values herself too much to settle for anything less than what she deserves. She does not chase, and in doing so, she naturally attracts. The moment a woman stops proving herself is the moment she becomes undeniable. She moves differently, she loves differently, and she carries a presence that cannot be forgotten. She is the one who commands respect, not by demanding it, but by embodying it. And in the end, it is not the woman who clings who is remembered. It is the one who had the strength to let go.